guys, welcome to Saffron and Sass.
Here we are such fun gals, and today we are talking shroom boom. That would be magic mushrooms. And no, if you're getting those ideas about the psychedelic ones, not that, but we are still going to have so much fun talking about
one of our favorite thing, which is mushrooms. So it's that time of the year.
It is that time of the year. It's getting colder. It is like cold. It's 40 degrees colder, and our taste buds are shifting, and our food choices are shifting to cold to warm.
Right.
Now we want hearty.
Earthy.
We want earthy.
Right.
We want hearty. We want something with substance. And what better than mushrooms to do that?
There's a lot of, there are plenty of different kinds of mushrooms, and so we picked some to just kind of give you a sense of. If you're interested in exploring the wonderful world of mushrooms beyond these white button mushrooms that you can get at a conventional grocery store, you can do lots of different things, including finding other kinds of mushrooms at a reputable source like a grocery store. Or you can also join the mushroom club, which we'll put the link on in a sec. But you can also forage with people who are experts. We do not recommend foraging on your own. Mushrooms can be actually very dangerous to you.
Yes, do not do that on your own. They may look pretty and they may kill you. So please, the only foraging you do if you're not aware is in the grocery store where it is safe to do that, or at a farmer's market. But let's talk about these
Saffron and
different
Sass,
types
how to
of
not die.
mushrooms
That's
that
our
we have here. Let's talk about how not to die.
Go ahead.
These are these enoki mushrooms, and look
Let's
how
pull them apart. Let's show people.
look how incredibly gorgeous these are.
And these are little tiny
taste.
mushrooms, and see how big the stems are. They're really different than the kind of conventional mushroom that you may think about.
And one of the cool things about mushrooms too is they grow in mushroom farms, but it's not like outside, they're inside, they grow on logs. And one of the cool things about mushrooms is minimal use of land or water and upcycle. So when they grow on this log, they can actually go through 3 growths on that log. So they are just so incredibly wonderful.
Yep. So so we'll start with this one because this kind of chopped up.
Yeah.
So we have 3 different kinds of mushrooms here. We have oyster mushrooms.
These are the
trumpets.
Yeah,
and then shiitake.
These are
these
my
little
favorite. I love these.
These are kind of funny because they're almost like dry in a weird way. And sometimes you can soak these. You can also see the back, the kind of situation here. And once you soak these, it can kind of soak it up a little, and then you can cook them. You could soak them in a little vinegar.
Earthy, wonderful.
These are incredible. So you can see how it's growing, as a group on this log, or any kind of decomposing, wooded matter like wood chips.
Exactly.
Of any kind.
Exactly.
And then when you cut them up, they can look really beautiful and pretty like this. Suddenly you have a really interesting looking situation here. Put it in your stir fry.
And then, and certainly the creminis. These are things that many of you might be familiar with, but they're not the only ones that are out there. And portobellas too, and kind of these beautiful portobellas that kind of look like a turtle shell. But portobello mushrooms, because of this wonderful meaty taste, or the glutamate that's in them and the umami, you can use this instead of meat, right? So you could do a portobello burger, and this would be the burger, or you use this as the bun and you put something in the middle. So quite versatile.
So what we do with this here, it's this is like velvet, like this on the inside, and you can cut this down a little lower and put some marinade on it, usually garlic, shallot, oil, some dark vinegar, and let it sit for a little while, and then you can simply just turn it over in a pan on low, cover it, and cook it like this until it's super tender. So it's almost like, when you make a beef stew, which we're going to talk about in a little bit, you can have that on low and slow for a long time, and then your meat's super tender. Same with this, and it is kind of meaty. Sometimes we're seeing vegan alternatives now.
And
you go to a place and they'll say you get your cauliflower steak, right? This has been one that's been a staple in the meat substitution world for quite some time.
They've been around forever, and one of the cool things, I always have to talk about nutritional value of mushrooms because there's so many things about them. So first of all, mushrooms have fiber in them, and so yes, they're good for your gut, but they're also a source of prebiotics, so they're good for your microbiota. They have no fat, they have no cholesterol, they have a little bit of protein in them.
Are they gluten-free? Just kidding.
That's right. So
We're going to label it GF.
and calorically minimal.
Yep.
So you can eat a lot of mushroom for basically very, very few calories. Secondly, the micronutrients, the vitamins and minerals.
Mm-hmm.
So certain mushrooms, and usually they do this with the creminis and with the little mini portobellas, when mushrooms grow in the dark, it's like we hear this, oh, like a mushroom, I grow in the dark. But nonetheless, when they get exposed to light, they absorb the vitamin D. So mushrooms can
Yeah, they do have a
actually
pretty
be
good source of that.
higher in vitamin D than other food sources. But you want to look for that on the label. They also have selenium in them, which boosts the
Mineral.
immune system, and copper as well. So really looking at the benefits. And then the phytonutrients, mushrooms contain beta-glucan. That is a
What is
fiber.
that?
It's a fiber, the
Beta-glucan?
beta-glucan that's actually in oatmeal. So you could do, instead of like a rice, you could do an oatmeal risotto with mushrooms, and you get 2 for 2 and a great benefit for the gut. So the studies that have looked at mushroom, studies out of Singapore, that they may indeed help with mild cognitive impairment. And
Which
where
is
are my keys?
me most of
Where
the- wait,
is
that's
my
me.
phone?
I do-
Where am I?
discussing me. You're
Yeah,
describing
there we
me.
go. There are the
Good, I'll start
studies
eating them more.
that have looked at mushrooms helping with gingivitis. So has a dentist ever said to you, eat more
more
mushrooms?
mushrooms.
Yes, you should, because it might actually help with gum disease. Mushrooms lower cholesterol. Mushrooms may lower blood pressure, and because of the health benefits in them, they're good for your bones. So I am literally telling you, head to toe is why we are so
Yeah.
fun, and the sport with more is why we want to be eating the mushrooms. So
Yeah.
should we show everybody what
Yeah,
we
for
made
sure.
with
Yeah,
mushrooms?
so we use mushrooms a lot here, and we buy them by the case. So we use them a lot. We also work with some local people here at Sprezzatura to locate chanterelles, things from the wild, foraged foods. But again, these are experts that we work with. We do this because it's organic, it's fresh, it's got the best nutritional density to it. But if you're gonna go out and you're gonna go in the woods, because it's a great time of year to do that when the leaves change, take somebody with you who's a mushroom expert, or join a mushroom expedition. If you just Google Mushroom Club of Western Pennsylvania, it'll come up. So we make, in our roasted vegetable lasagna, quite a bit of caramelized onions and mushrooms, but
Beautiful
it's this time of the year where we do something called Soupscription, which is we do 2 different soups a week, and people can pick them up frozen in quarts. We also sell at the market. We probably make about 800 to 900 quarts of soup a month. We make a lot of soup. And one of the soups we make is right here, which is this really incredible, gorgeous, very, very, very nutritionally dense, high iron, really a lot of good things in here, a beef mushroom barley soup, which is, you may have eaten that in your life, but we make it very low, very slow, and we put extra mushrooms and extra onions in at the end, as well as some decorative fennel on there to give it a little color so it doesn't look like mud.
And one of the cool things too, and you had mentioned like a beef and mushroom barley soup, is the blend. So this idea of, instead of just using 100% meat or poultry, is you do 50-50, or even
Right.
like a 60-40 mushroom to meat.
That's
and
right.
you get that wonderful meaty taste. That is the umami, that is the glutamate that's in the mushroom. So you're actually adding nutritional benefit. You're using less
Boosting
meat
flavor.
overall. So it's
Yeah.
just fabulous.
And I think that one of the things that people can really be working on too is making your own broths. So you can make a mushroom broth. We're used to things like chicken broth, vegetable stock, beef stock. We make pork bone stock here. We make fish stock. We have rabbit stock downstairs. But you can make a stock with your mushrooms and your onions and your vegetables, and you can put a couple cloves of star anise in it, and it's got a lot of flavor. And suddenly you've got something to work with. So you can keep that in your freezer. You can make rice with it. You can boil pasta in it. You can use it as a soup base. But don't ever throw out like your little ends of your mushrooms when you're trimming them and everything like that. Put it all in a stock. Make yourself a really nice mushroom stock. It's great.
And the other thing is, we talk about the versatility of mushrooms. So I was actually at Kennett Square
Oh, yeah,
in
yeah. Tell everybody about
September
that.
with the
Yeah.
Mushroom Festival that they do every year. And oh my God, so much fun. So got to be on stage and doing some demo. So every year I come up with recipes for them. So this year, this
Oh,
is
so delicious.
a mushroom
Zero in on this.
tapenade. So this is chopped mushrooms, so the variety of mushrooms that are here, with some walnut, orange pepper, some shallot, a little bit of prunes, and then salt, pepper, red pepper, That's
awesome.
it. It's like this beautiful tapenade. So you could put this on a
I'm
charcuterie
eating
board
one
if
of
you
that.
wanted to,
eating
or
that.
we have it this way, and it is the
welcome.
tapenade on a little crostini
The only
with
reason why I'm here
ricotta.
today is to eat, by the way, the only reason why.
There we go. So, or you could actually like flatten the chicken breast and use this in the middle, roll it, chop it, mark it with a C. You know, all these things are wonderful. Do or mark it with an M, and have something that's absolutely delicious. So, if you're not using them now, please get on board with us. We want you all to be fun guys and fun gals and really get the benefit of mushrooms.
Can we say one thing too about cleaning and preparing and storing mushrooms?
Yes.
Keep your mushrooms dry.
That's right.
Store them in a cool place, but not too cool. They can get slimy and nasty really quickly if it's too moist. We store ours in a box. You can store them in a paper bag.
You don't want to clean them until you're ready to use them.
That's
Don't
right.
do that ahead of time, because then you're not going to be able to get the enjoyment out of them. And then the one other thing is, how do you prevent from overcooking them? People have had a bad mushroom experience because they sat too long. It's like, oh, shoe leather. That was not quite the taste sensation.
Or slimy.
Or slimy.
I think a lot of people have bad mushroom experiences from, let's face it, the 70s.
Yeah.
Right? Cream of mushroom soup in every casserole on earth. You know, there's a whole other world of mushrooms beyond this kind of like slimy, creamy, whatever.
That's right.
And I think what we like to do here is use them raw, put them in your soup. We pan fry them, like I was mentioning, with onions. You know, no one ever hated a caramelized onion in my life, in my opinion. So you add your mushrooms, keep your pan a little drier, and stop stirring them so much. That's the other thing.
That's right.
Because they'll
Leave
release all their
them
moisture.
alone.
Just leave them alone.
Leave them alone.
They'll cook. It's amazing what will happen if you leave something in a hot pan.
So we are going to challenge you all. Go out, buy mushrooms. If you're going to forage, never on your own. Go with somebody who knows what they're doing. Try them, buy them, enjoy them. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.